Hey folks, if this is the first time we've met, I'm Valerie Misa and welcome to my photography channel. For those who've followed me for a little while now, you may know that I took a brief sabbatical from YouTube, but I'm back, and while I was on break I had some time to think about where my photography was heading. And it probably comes as no surprise that I will continue with landscape and wildlife photography. But going forward, I do want to focus on wildlife photography a little bit more, especially bird photography. So I suppose it naturally made sense for me to make a few tweaks to the gear that I'm carrying. Now, nothing drastic, and definitely all in aid of my muddy boots and long lens adventures out in the field. Now, I'm definitely not going to go through a list of absolutely everything that I carry, because if I'm being honest, I tend to pack like I'm going on a month-long expedition, even if I'm heading out just for half a day. So if you are interested in details around what I use and what I recommend, I do have them on my website, so go check them out. Instead, today what I want to focus on are 12 actually useful accessories that have really helped my photography out in the field. So I won't be covering all of my main gear like my cameras, my lenses, tripods, ND filters, etc. But rather, what I want to focus on are the underrated, unsexy and maybe uncommon, but seriously handy bits of gear that I carry and reach out for all the time. You know, the stuff that just keeps carrying on, quietly doing its job while the flashy kit gets all the credit. So whether you're taking amazing landscapes or beautiful wildlife, these are the items that have really earned their place in my go-to kit. Now, of course, no accessory is perfect, and I'll highlight some of the pros and cons along the way. So let's get straight into it. Let's start with the obvious, the bag. Now, you probably can't see the whole bag on screen. That's okay, I'll put some B-rolls up. I think bags are like lenses, you can't just have one. Now, I've accumulated a few over the years, and each for a different purpose, sort of like Pokemon, but with more back pain. So look, some of you might know that my everyday go-to bag is the Shimoda Action X40 version 2, which I've got just right behind me. I find that it's perfect for my day-to-day photography gear carrying needs, and I can't rave enough about just how functional and how comfortable it is. If you're interested, I actually made a hands-on video when it launched about 2 years ago. I'll put a link to it somewhere up here on screen. But when I do need to haul out the big boys, and by that I mean the 600mm f4 or even my 100 to 500mm extended and mounted, I do reach for this Action X50, which is a 50-litre bag, which is designed for carrying bigger and bulkier gear, and maybe a little bit of food and clothing if you're, say, into hiking, as I do from time to time. Combine this with the standard shoulder straps, which is unisex and fits men and women. But if you are a petite female like myself, I do highly recommend that you look at the women's specific shoulder straps. Now, these shoulder straps are designed for females with smaller frames and torso lengths and various other unique features. And they help the bag to sit in the right places, so ensuring that there's proper weight placement and distribution across the shoulders, the back and the hips. Now, surprisingly, it has made carrying the Action X50 version 2 so much more comfortable than I'd expected, and I'd have to say more comfortable than the original. And what's great about this bag is that Shimoda has just released the new RST50 core unit, which fits inside this 50-litre and is designed to maximize storage, including that it can carry a super telephoto lens such as a 600mm mounted with with a slight caveat to that, and I'll get back to it later. Like all Shimoda cores, they're well padded and super sturdy with an added frame around the rim to support heavy loads, and features 3 access points: rear, side and top. So plenty of options for accessing your gear. So if you are in the long lens club, I think this setup is a great way to comfortably lug around your hefty gear and with some room for a little extra. Now, going back to the point that I raised earlier about the caveat, if you are fortunate like me to have the Canon RF 600mm f4, unfortunately it doesn't fit that lens with a mounted camera like an R5, for example. Now, I think this is because the RF EF extender that is built into the camera is just a tad too long. But that's okay, I'm fine with that I can't carry it mounted. Obviously, there is an option that if I put it into a bigger core unit and lug that around in a 70-litre bag, I could carry it mounted, but you know, given my petite frame, there's no way I'm lugging around something that big. So I've been a big fan of Shimoda bags and accessories for a while now. I think they just make quality products that are just so well designed and thought through, and really the products speak for themselves. So if you are interested in the RST50 core unit or the Action X version 2 bags or any other bag or products from Shimoda, please have a look at the link in the description below, because I can also give you a 10% discount, so check that out. So this one has been a relatively recent but very welcome discovery. The iFootage monopod isn't just any monopod. I'll put that a little bit closer, but again, I'll put some B-rolls up. It's like the Swiss Army knife of monopods. It's just jam-packed with features to make it so much quicker and more efficient for you when you're photographing, particularly wildlife out in the field. You can see it has these 3 little legs which you can fold out for extra stability, and a handy foot pedal as well that makes adjustments so quick and easy. So you just step on the pedal to release it, and you can turn the monopod in all directions pretty much, and then stepping it on again will put the monopod back into its correct vertical position. But the ultimate party trick, well, it converts into a mini tripod. Ta-da! Simply pull down on the quick disconnect section and Bob's your uncle. Although I did make it look a little bit too easy here. A con with this monopod is that sometimes it is a bit of a struggle to disconnect and reconnect. So the mini tripod is perfect for instances when you need to get down really low and be belly flopping about in the mud or in the bushes, or as I am here on a jetty. So gimbals are something I only bring when the 600mm comes out to play. Let's face it, bag space becomes premium real estate at that point. This Benro folding gimbal has been a recent addition to my kit, and I really love its compact and novel design. It's slim and weighs only 1 kilo, and the best part is that it actually folds. For even tighter storage, you can detach the rotating arm and fold it up separately, or even leave it at home. To open, simply loosen the locking knob on the bracket base. Open and lift the bracket arm, and then lock the arm and base in place. Thread the head onto your tripod, and if your choice is to mount your camera lens foot directly onto the QR clamp, that's it, you're good to go. What you're doing is effectively using the gimbal as a side-mounted gimbal, which is my preference most of the time. Alternatively, you can use the detachable rotating bracket arm. Press and hold the side release button as you open the arm, attach it onto the QR clamp, and then mount your lens foot onto the arm as per normal. The main complaint that I've heard people make about this gimbal is that it's too stiff, and I agree that there's some merit to this. There's definitely more tension or drag in the knob than a standard gimbal, and it really does feel like a fluid head in a way. But I don't think, for me personally, it affects my panning, and I really don't mind the additional drag because I do some filming as well, so it just smooths out the panning motion a little bit more. But I can see why, for people who are looking for a gimbal that is very much for stills, that it could be a deal breaker for them. Now, when I'm not out chasing wildlife and either hand holding or mounting my camera by the lens foot, you'll find this little beauty attached to my camera, my small rig L bracket. It's super versatile and honestly essential if you want to switch between portrait and landscape without having to do some sort of weird tripod yoga. What I love about small rigs L brackets is that they're so well designed. This one's specifically made for the Canon R5 Mark II, but they make L brackets for pretty much every camera out there. It's contoured around all the right places, battery doors, card slots, ports, nothing's blocked, nothing's annoying. It's Arca Swiss compatible, runs the full length of the base, and comes with a very handy built-in tool to tighten, loosen or remove it. And the bonus, it might even save your gear. I once dropped my camera from about 1.5 meters. Don't ask me how. And the L bracket pretty much took the hit. It was a little bit scuffed around the edges and on the underside, but my camera lived to shoot another day. Another small rig MVP, the small rig multi-tool. It's small, unassuming, but an absolute lifesaver. It's got all the essentials: a flathead, Phillips and Allen's key in just about every single size you'll need for your camera gear. It's helped me tighten tripod plates, fix loose gear, and not to mention removing those annoying safety screws from the bottom of tripod foots. Well, it's tiny, so super easy to forget and misplace until security at the airport finds you with this in your carry-on. Since we're talking about carrying things, let's talk about straps, because those cheap ones that come with your camera, not ideal. Peak Design Slide is my go-to. You can wear it as a sling, neck or shoulder strap. The smooth side glides over your clothing and the other side grips to stay put. Flip the adjuster up, adjust the strap as you need, and then lock the adjuster in place. Pretty simple. Now, you've probably seen these little red round plastic buttons attached to every camera out there. Well, these are awesome little Peak Design anchor links, which allow you to quickly connect things like the slide strap, clip it in, and away you go. Each one holds about 90 kilos. That's like 2 of me, not joking. Batteries and cards, can't shoot without them. I love having them all in one place, not scattered and loose in my bag or in my pockets. This LensGo hard case keeps them all together, all in one place, keeps them dry, keeps them safe, and keeps them organized. It holds 3 big batteries, 3 CF Express or XQD cards, and 6 SD cards. The hard case and internal rubber and sponge padding keeps everything inside safe against the elements, including water. And if you have butterfingers like me, it's good to know that it's also shockproof. Yeah, so maybe dropping it on grass hardly proved a point, but you know, you get my drift. The reality for most of us photographers is that we're either out before sunrise or packing up after sunset. So being able to see what you're doing, yeah, it's sort of important. I've had this LED lens headlamp for years and it's still going strong. So probably best if I demonstrate in a dark room. It's a little bit bright here, so let me see if I can just dim things down. I wish. I just have to physically turn things off. It puts out something like 200 lumens, switches between flood and spot beams, and is rechargeable. But you can also run on standard alkaline batteries in a pinch. Headlamps aren't just for not tripping over logs, they're also great for helping your camera find focus in low light. A con with this is that the on-off button is pretty flat, which is particularly annoying when you're wearing gloves. I've done a fair bit of fumbling around in the dark trying to find the button before the light actually turned on. Now we get to what is probably the most underrated item in any photographer's kit, the humble air blower. Simple, cheap, and one of the most effective tools in my kit. I use the DJI Rocket, I think that's how you pronounce it. No batteries, no moving parts, no stress, just the good old puff of clean air. It safely blasts away dust from your lenses, your sensor, viewfinder, and thanks to the one-way valve, it doesn't recirculate dusty air. You don't realise how important this little thing is until you're in post, cloning out dust and spots in every single image. I'm also going to sneak in a couple of extras here. Microfiber cloths and lens cleaner. They're in all my bags, always. Rain, ocean spray, random fingerprints, these are your first line of defense. Cameras, drones, mics, headlamp, the list goes on. I go through power and fast, so having backup power with me is a must. This little Inui, I think that's how you pronounce it, power bank is compact, powerful and reliable. This little 10,000 milliamp power bank is apparently the slimmest in the market. It includes a built-in flash and supports fast charging. For day-to-day trips and my needs, this one hits the sweet spot. So wrapping this video up with a couple of things that I wear and highly recommend. First, if you're into seascapes like I am, you know that there's no avoiding water. And that's where these muck gumboots come in. Fully insulated, neoprene, waterproof, breathable, great grip and surprisingly comfy. They've kept my feet warm and dry on every single wet shoot. And yes, these are the hail plate version because, you know, if you have to wear gumboots, you don't have to look daggy, right? They can be half decent. I do wish they were a little bit higher or taller. So even though I am very much a midget, they do come up almost knee length on me. So if they were a little bit higher, that would be great, or maybe it's time for me to graduate to waders. For some reason, my fingers tend to feel the cold way more than the rest of me. So for me, gloves are essential, even in summer. These are always stuffed somewhere, either in my bag or in my pockets. Now, for milder mornings, I use these Dakine glove liners. You can see that they've got good grip, which are really handy for scrambling over boulders, and they've got touchscreen pads on the thumb and index finger, which are crucial for swiping around on the camera or on my phone. And when it gets seriously cold, I take out these Valeray Markov Pro version 3, I think that's what they are. They've also got the touchscreen pads on the thumbs and index fingers, but the best feature is that they've got this flip tech technology in the fingertips. Now you can flip back the thumb and index finger to actually use your real fingers when needed. So the magnets hold the flaps in place so they're not flapping about when you're trying to shoot. I guess the flip side is that they're not ideal for snow or slush. Moisture can get into the gaps here in the flip openings. So my thumbs and index fingers have definitely had a soaking or two. So there you have it, folks. 12 actually useful photography accessories that have earned their place in my photography kit. Some are unassuming, most are humble, and I think they're all practical and have made my life a lot easier out in the field. Let me know in the comments below what underrated photography gear you swear by. If you found this video helpful, please hit the thumbs up and also consider subscribing for more photography goodness. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. But the ultimate party trick, if I can get it to come down. It doesn't. Jeez. Stuck. It's not a good example of a party trick, is it? Whew. Hot and bothered and red in the face. Gimbals are only something I bring when the 600mm comes out to play. Let's face it, bag space becomes premium real estate at that point. So, poor Ollie, he's had a bit of an issue with a busted capillary in his ear, so explains the bandage on his head. He's insisted that he comes into to the study at this point in time to join me. So it's a bit of a distraction in the background, but let's continue, shall we? So there you have it, folks. 12 actually useful photography accessories that have earned their place in my photography kit. Some are unassuming, most are humble, and they're all practical and have cotton mouth, that's what I have. Oh, I need a drink. All right. Let's bring this one home.